Why are you on us?
Episode 84. That's us tonight. All of us. Gathered round the wireless swapping recipes, anecdotes, criminal activities and how much fun it was when we all watched the moon landing together on a TV screen in the middle of the street with thousands of other people on that cold December day in 1979. As longtime viewers will know, we check our facts thoroughly before each show and take concerted effort to not lead anyone down a path of misinformation. This has led to many out-and-out brawls between father and son and teacher and student. We view these incidents as all just prep work to bring you what we consider a complete package. Music, singing, sports talk, science facts and Kyle muttering stuff that nobody can understand but cracks him up. It's all for us. All of us. Let's gather at this crucial time in American history and use our voices to seek out kindness, compassion, fairness and understanding. We can all be examples for those around us. Lead not with your machete, but with your heart. Jabber Jawn is 84 episodes strong today and we look forward to a bright future for us all. All of us. Us all. Let's all say us all. All of us. Peace to all of us. Love ya. Watch Jabber Jawn and learn how to sharpen a lawnmower blade.
Frog sitting on a log, one of them fell in. One frog said to the other frog, well, you better go get her. Two little frogs sitting on a log, one of them fell in. Last little frog, he sat and thought, good thing they can swim. Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn. Three little frogs sitting on a log, one burst into a grin. One frog said to the other frog, wonder what's got into him. Two little frogs sitting on a log, one laughed until he was red. Last little frog, he sat and thought, must have been something I said. Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn, Jabber Jawn.
Hey, we're back. Hello, welcome to Jabber Jawn. I'm Nathan Moore.
I'm Kyle Hogg.
I'm Steve Moore.
It's good to see everybody. Welcome to the show. Hopefully, talk to us. Make sure the chats are working out there, and hopefully we can see you. When a little boy thinks he's Superman, then he almost can. He almost can fly. When he takes his toy truck and drives it through the sand, the boy moves mountains with his little hand. And the world really is magic. Nothing could be clearer. Nothing could be clearer. Then somebody says no, it's all a trick. done with smoke and mirrors. Cigarettes make a last call. Whenever a man is down upon his knees, more than likely he's praying for redemption. But when a little boy prays unto the Lord, he can almost hear the Lord listening. And the world really is magic. Nothing could be clearer. Nothing could be clearer. And then somebody says, no, man, it's all a trick. Done with smoke and mirrors. Yeah. Cigarettes make a last call. When a little boy thinks he's Superman, then he almost can fly. So close to dreams, so far from trials. And I'm that little boy again, every once in a while. The world really is magic. Nothing could be clearer. Nothing could be clearer. Yeah, the world really is magic. Nothing could be clearer. Nothing could be clearer. That was rough.
Well, you know,
I did the finale first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that took me down a lot of roads. It was one of Mom's favorites.
Yeah. I'll never forget a moment we had in her little flower garden. I was out there. I don't forget what I was doing, but she came out and stood beside me, and she was like, you know, when you say you can almost hear the Lord listening. She's like, no one else would say that. No one else writes like that. It was just such a moment with Nana, just like,
wow.
It's like she wanted to tell me that. Like she listened to the song, and she was just like, I don't know, something about that struck her, and she had to share it with me. And every time I sing that line, I'm back in that garden with her standing beside me saying,
that's beautiful. Yeah, I went down several similar. I love that story there. But yeah, I was thinking about how much she loved some of those earlier songs that you were. I mean, she loved everything, but she had a special.
Oh yeah.
She had. We all do.
I sang "If I Didn't Love You" last night during practice.
Oh.
Thinking of her for that one too.
Yeah.
Just a lot of it. I don't quite know how to play this yet. I just got this yesterday.
Good
The,
Lord.
look at that.
Man.
Do they send you
it's-
an extra mouth for that?
I need like 2 extra mouths. But yeah, it's like twice as long and has 2 rows of holes. It's called a tremolo harmonica, and I'm not. I'm sure.
My mic is up.
But yeah, I just still don't have any idea how to play it. But it's such a. You hear that little warble? Wow, 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 wow. I feel like it's a whole world that will unlock over time.
Is it the
with
size
practice.
of the hole that makes this different sound?
Well, inside of here are reeds.
But it's like, is this the same
like-
note, the top and the bottom one, or whatever you call it?
I'm not quite sure. I have no idea actually what's inside this one. I know it's inside normal harmonicas, but I haven't done any research into what is actually going on here. Two rows of holes. But yeah, I have no idea.
Wow.
But a new color on my painter's palette will lead to different skies.
Which leads me into the talk of perfection.
We were having a pretty interesting conversation before the show, and it always happens without fail. We'll get halfway into a conversation before the show while we're just setting up, and we're like, we should save this for the show. And so then we get onto the show, and then we try to get back to where we were, which is actually, I think there's laws of physics that defies.
Do you remember what you were talking about?
I'm trying to keep up.
You were going to tell us, God, what was he going to tell us? I can't remember now.
Apples are perfect.
No, that's how we started it. He told me they weren't perfect.
Freaking apples.
But one thing, before we get started, so I don't forget, I wanted to show y'all this.
Oh, I'm seeing Cousin Eric on YouTube, so the chats are working, and Steve is watching, so yay!
Yeah.
Everything's,
How you
all
doing,
systems go.
Now, the Stanton Public Library had their book sales this
Why didn't
this-
you never tell me about any of this stuff?
I don't want you to get the good stuff.
Because you're afraid I'll beat you to the
So
punch.
I went down there, and we've been, we were talking about westerns a whole bunch lately. The old Rawhide and Gunsmoke and stuff. Rawhide was so popular that Clint Eastwood put out an album of doing cowboy favorites.
Him singing? Oh my goodness. Well, he's a bit of a jazz man too, wasn't he? Like,
Oh yeah,
I feel like he made a documentary
he did
about.
Bird.
Yeah.
But I was like, I saw that. I was like, I thought it was just him on the cover, but it's actually him singing these cowboy songs dressed in his rawhide outfit.
Clint Eastwood.
Now,
you ever
did you
see-
get that?
Yeah.
You bought it?
Uh-huh.
It's like a CD cover.
Yeah.
Have you got a good
Oh, there it
CD
is.
player?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I found some CDs down in the basement that are amazing. I'll bring those on show and tell next time.
Yeah.
I
One of those.
can't read it.
One of those the last album he made.
Dad's been going through his basement and finding some random things, and he brought this over. But inside of it was something that just made me laugh out loud. This is like, I don't even know what this is. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm just wrong and they make them this small still. I don't know, but that's an iPhone, folks. It makes me feel like the Jolly Green Giant or something. When I'm holding it in my hand, I just feel like a giant. I mean, look at this thing. It feels like a box of Tic Tacs.
I miss that size.
That used to be
This-
Tic Tacs, and now this is.
This is
Tic
my
Tacs.
phone. Look at that. Look at that. That's just crazy.
Were there apps on those phones, or we just could talk on them?
It has a camera on the back.
Really?
Yeah,
It'd be
they
funny
have
if we
everything.
like did some research and found out this is like a 2019 or something. Like they just still make them that small and you didn't know that. But I feel like it's from the 80s or something. I feel like it's before iPhones existed. I feel like this was like the prototype.
It might be a collectible.
It might be worth something.
Well, I got a couple little things from the basement today. To clarify what's going on is Nathan left from living in my basement, and he left since everybody knows that he's a hoarder. He left a lot of things behind, and so I'm finding them and bringing them back as birthday gifts, and some of them are legitimate gifts. This is legitimate. I just thought you might, if you didn't have a couple.
Oh,
ones, something you could
come
actually
on.
use. And I think it's
There's nothing better than a staple gun.
That's,
I think
that's
it-
not a staple gun. That's the original telephone, isn't it?
Hello?
That's pre-1960.
Put your eye out, kid. Careful.
Man, I love a staple gun.
Well, that's yours.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. That was from the shed, actually. Let's see, I don't remember if I had a bunch of stuff I didn't put in here, because that's just my journal. I don't think there's anything else. Wait a minute. Oh, there's a book I had. I thought y'all might be able to use that. I'm
Oh,
done.
look at
I'm
that.
done.
Oh, yeah.
I thought
Card
that-
games for sharks and others. For
Wow.
sharks?
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but I thought y'all could play some.
Like a
new
shark
card-
wants a cute little book on how to play different card games.
No, card shark.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like a card shark is you don't call yourself a shark until
Oh.
you've
Okay.
paid some dues,
Okay.
you know? And like once you've paid those, if you could actually be considered a shark, the last thing you want is a silly little book on card games.
How'd you become such a good card player? Here's the book I learned it from.
Yeah, right.
I didn't really understand
It's
it. either.
diminutive.
I won this book in a card game. That's how I learned it.
But me, on the other hand, am not a shark, and I'm very curious how to play. There's lots of card games that I'm curious how to play. And I just saw Gin Rummy, so that alone is worth the price of admission.
Perfect.
So I've been curious about all these games.
If there's any pages you want to mark,
The
just
basic
staple them
rummy
together.
idea. What's that?
Ooh.
If there's any pages you want to remember, just staple them together.
Egyptian War. There might be some. We should just try all these. War. I think that's a very simple game where you just both deal down a card and the high card
It
wins.
goes on forever and ever and ever.
All right, that's fun. I don't remember that ever seeing that.
No, that was mine from back in the day.
I love the hole that they've drilled through it so you can tie it to a string and wear it around your neck. I'm guessing, like hang it by the back toilet off the paper dispenser.
I used to shoot my gun a lot.
Oh, I see. That was just
Yeah,
one of
so
your wild
probably,
nights.
yeah,
Got
it
out
was-
of hand.
Yeah, I was reading a lot. What was that crazy guy out there in the West Side? He was
Somebody
Fear and
grab
Lo-
me that card games book down from the top shelf there.
That one.
Yeah.
I was reading Fear and Loathing at the time.
Oh, yeah.
That guy Hunter. I used to hang out with him. He was a mess. I guarantee you.
That's a strange American archetypal drunkard, the one that has to fire their gun at some point in the evening. I mean, there's been some famous ones. Phil Spector's like that. Some of the there's been some legendary character. Hunter S. Thompson was definitely that guy.
Yeah, that's never been part of my process.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You can see how it would happen
Well, yeah, if you're
if
around
you're
guns,
into
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
if you're into guns and like shooting guns when you're drunk, that's a good time to do it.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Ain't nobody telling you not to.
Yeah.
That guy James Carville or Carville, whatever his name is, the political guy, he reminds me of Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah, they look a little like.
He's got that,
Who's that?
sort of attitude too. Like,
Yeah.
Who's that?
I'm not sure. He's like political guy that's on TV all the time.
It's the economy, stupid. Wasn't he the one that coined that first?
Oh, is he?
Famous for that. He was like an advisor to Clinton, Obama, and all the James
Democrat,
Carville.
yeah.
Now you see him as a talking head on interview shows and stuff, talking
I don't
politics.
remember him.
Bald guy, looks like Hunter S. Thompson.
He's always got like a sweatshirt on. He never dresses up for him. Or
And what was
anything.
his, what, you know his name?
James Carville.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know him. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
You know the hoarding thing is so funny. It's almost like that picture you drew me when I was a little kid of Nathan's Land that I still live in to this day, which is funny. But still to this day, every time I look at it, I'll find something in there that I feel like I've never seen before. Like, oh my God, you see what that is right there by the Bat Cave? But I lived in Dad's basement for a couple of years there, and it was a wonderland down there with a little magic area where I did magic tricks and made a lot
There
of
were
music.
actually
and stuff.
2 workbenches down there.
Yeah.
Two completely separate work areas that are still a mess.
Right. But since then, he's been wanting to just clear out the whole basement, and I've gone down there many, 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 many times over the last few years, making sure there's nothing that is precious, and just like, all right, everything can go. And I think I've given you those marching orders several times. Like, all right, I just went through it again, and I feel like I've gotten everything that's worth anything, or I would be sad to lose forever. And I feel like I've given that go-ahead several times. But then you go down there one Tuesday afternoon, and I just last week was visiting and went down there and felt sure there was nothing precious down there anymore. Came up out of there with there was a notebook that had the original, some of my most famous songs, the original writings were in that notebook. It was like the whole In His Own Worlds era with Month of May and Paperboy and just all kinds of stuff. I'm like, oh my God, look at those. So it's just so funny.
Well, like today, I had a couple buttons, like campaign button things, like, rednecks for Obama and stuff like that. Just funny ones. And today I opened up this container up on that one back in the back. You can hardly get to it. And I reached and opened it up, and it was just full of buttons.
Oh, wow.
And all different, almost all were different, but a lot of hippie fiasco stuff.
Right.
But it was
Yeah,
like
we were making buttons back then.
you made a lot of them, but there were a lot of them just from places you'd been too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have to, but stuff like that, I don't want to throw that
I
out.
know, it's tough.
But the event today is going to involve him, because there's these 2 big wooden panels back there that'll open up, and there's storage back there. And I hadn't looked back there in years. And
Albums.
today, when I opened it up, you're going to go, there's some
Is it album?
albums
Oh my God.
with the covers on.
There's some gold in them hills.
There is gold in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
so I'm going to let you come.
All right, we gotta cut the show off
Yeah,
early tonight.
there's even stuff in there that like from my punk youth and stuff.
Yeah, there's all. I don't even know. I didn't look. I was going to say.
Minor threat and
I'm gonna
suicidal
let you.
tendencies.
I'm going to let you look through it.
Well, I can bring it up and let Nathan get first pick at it.
No, I've already gone through it several
Well, I'm
times.
not giving it to you. I'm letting you look at it and tell me what you think.
Make an offer.
Okay.
And I'm going to get your opinion
an
on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know I'm a card shark.
Oh, you are? I got just the thing for you.
Where'd that come from?
It's a little book of card games
Looks
just
like-
for card sharks.
looks
How
like-
about that?
I was trying to think of an album and somebody shot at me.
Hey, Saul, check it out.
Oh yeah, y'all missed
Oh,
it.
thank
When we
you.
showed up today,
Yeah, mine
each
fall
of our
down.
chair, Kethra had done this when we weren't looking. So when we all showed up on the set today, this was in Kyle's chair. And this was in Dad's chair. So perfect. Little fishing frog.
I love it.
And this
Thank
was in
you.
my chair. Little clarinet playing frog. They're so pretty. And this banjo playing frog is now a permanent part of our Jabber Jawn set. So thank you for the upgrades.
Thank you.
Very, very cool.
You're our newest sponsor now, once again.
Thank you to our latest sponsor, Saul Herrera.
He gave me for my birthday. He travels the world, and I'm like, well, keep an eye out when you're out there looking for. Find if you ever see like really colorful shirts, like those, like the African shirts that are all just beautiful colors and bright, and you just can't find that stuff around here. So, they gave me a shirt, and I wore it Monday night on my practice, and all these people start coming in the comments section going, "Nice dashiki."
Wow.
Have you heard this word? I just felt so out of the loop. Everybody knew that I was wearing a dashiki. And
They call you the dashiki.
then even Lex came over and was like, "Oh, nice dashiki." And I'm like, "Am I the only one that doesn't know this word? Like everybody knows
that word again.
There's that word again." But I love my dashiki. I've been trying to break it in. I've been sleeping in it.
Man.
It's all new.
Right.
That's one of the reasons I love shopping at thrift stores. Not only is the price right, but the clothes are already broken in for you. Because I don't like new clothes.
What do you call those? What do you call those like the hippies wear with the hood on it, like the colored, with this looks like they're handmade, like Mexican type looking thing.
Oh, wait. That just has a hole for the head and then
Yeah.
it hangs.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are those called? Those are awesome.
I was going for one of those last.
Those are
week.
so comfy.
Lex, you
You're
don't
like
know
wearing
that
a
one?
blanket.
I feel like we used to call them like a Baja sweater. I think that's what we used to call them.
The Baja sweater.
A
It
Baja
doesn't
sweater.
Does it have arms? It doesn't really have arms.
It does
right?
have arms.
Yeah,
It
it has
hangs over the.
arms.
And it's
Yeah.
very loose. It usually has like a little V-neck in the middle,
Right.
just a little bit like an
Right.
opening, and then a hoodie that can come
Right.
up. But it's real loose. It doesn't have drawstrings on it or anything.
I forget who. Somebody told me last week that I needed one of those with my outfit.
Well, not with this outfit.
Well,
That's before this
Yeah,
new
well-
incarnation here. I mean,
On the way over here, when I got here, he cracked me up. I asked him when was the last time he walked 4,000 steps, and he said when I was still a boy. But for some reason, cracked my ass up. And then I walk in with this beautiful ensemble on, and what did you say I look like, Lex?
I was like, it's like Gilligan goes to the library.
Now that's funny.
is there a story behind your outfit?
Oh,
Is this the new you? Like every time I see you from now on, it's going to be some variation of this. Like,
This is actually very sweet. My friend Laura Pohl in New Jersey, I wear sweaters a lot in the wintertime, and her father passed away, and this was one of his favorite sweaters.
oh wow!
So she gave me this.
Looks like it was custom made for you.
And,
Like it's made to fit. Like it's been taken in.
I feel like a jerk now. Sorry.
No, he was a very studious man. He would like the Gilligan reference. This is Gilligan, right? And this is the library. The hat's the library part, right?
Yeah.
Haven't you ever seen a card shark? You have to have a little bit of space so you can get something out of here.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about subtle sleight of hand and having them concentrate on one thing while you're
That's
doing
right.
something else.
Right.
I learned that from you,
Right.
and that's everybody's just fascinated that they're meeting Gilligan
That's right.
at a library.
And can I have a piece of tissue to eat, please?
But there's also magic, right?
What do you mean?
I mean, there's also magic, right? Like not sleight of hand and anything like that.
Like actual magic.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Magic was real.
Because I don't know about all that sleight of hand stuff. I look for all of it, and it's always magic.
It's just magic.
Just keeps being magic. Can't figure it out yet.
Now, what is actual magic? What does magic mean?
What does it mean to you?
Well, like when you do your tricks, even though I believe when they're happening, I know just intellectually, I know you didn't do anything. I mean, I can't figure out what you did, but I know that you tricked me somehow. But like, what is this? Like
The trick part.
Magic is when something doesn't have a logical or scientific or sound basis in the way things are thought to work.
Right.
So if something's
Or
magical,
even defies.
So it's
Right.
out of
those-
there,
those
or
scientific
yeah, depending on
expectations.
how magic. There are degrees of magic.
Right.
Like things will happen that we can't explain, and that's wide open. But you can call that magic because it hasn't been explained.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, I believe there's definitely a lot of magic because we don't know that much.
Right.
Human beings don't really know that much about what's really going on here.
And it's not too much of a stretch for me to even think that even the things we think are reliable observations or scientific knowledge might be more magic than we think they are.
Well, they might be wrong.
They might be wrong. The whole thing might be a manifestation of our imaginations.
Yeah, but that's
It's possible.
well, it's true. I agree with you, but my argument would be everybody's doing that differently.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, everybody's brain is working on different ways of perceiving things at different levels, and
Right.
you have shutdowns and never turned on. You start speaking French to me, I just go blank, and so you're going to lose a lot of. You just don't have it all.
Mm-hmm. Right.
so like when they were performing Saturday, and it was magical. What does that mean?
To me, I think a lot of magic in my world of the way I think that a lot of magic is because we're dealing with energy, not matter, and we tend to think of a material world, but things will happen, like in a room. There's energy going on in this room
I
right
like
now.
this explanation.
And it's not explainable scientifically, but I can, when I hear something or I feel something or I sense something, but part of that sensing is sensing each other's energy.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel that there's an energy presence, and some people do that a lot better than other people. But we're all sending out energy, and we're all receiving energy, and some of it we're learning without a conscious understanding of that. You just get a feeling, but that's also wherein you can get into the realm of magic.
Right.
Wow, I like that explanation.
Thank you.
So it was the music
I
and the
made it up,
energy
by
and
the
the
way.
feeling of Saturday
You know,
night.
I-
So it was the music, but also just the feeling of everybody being
It
up
was
there.
it was that feeling of camaraderie.
Okay.
You talk about being in the zone, or when you and Lex and when you guys were talking, like last week, you were talking about the magic of that Saturday night before, which I assume you had some more of it this past Saturday. But it's that whole idea. It's a communal energy that you're sharing. You can watch it at a baseball game where everybody sees the guy hit the home run, and they're all cheering at the same time. Everybody's just feeling each other's energy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to feel it at a Trump rally too. So but it's that feeling of energy that you're sharing something that I think that we're feeling. Because I was thinking about today is why we would do this 84 times. Our ratings are really not that good,
But they're magical.
but I'm saying if we were doing it for the ratings, we would. So why are we doing it? And I think the reason I do it is because, as somebody told me on the way over, have fun. And I thought about, I do it because it's fun. It's just, it gives me something to look at on Thursday night. I get to see you, and I get to see you, and we get to have conversation. Because I was thinking about what this show can do, and what it can do is show people how to have a conversation. Because you don't see conversations when you watch TV or anymore much as we used to of having those conversations. If you have a coffee club or somebody that you meet every morning and have conversation, that's lovely. I mean, that's healthy. But a lot of people don't get that anymore because of the age that we live in. You're not driving to the diner or wherever, you know.
Right.
But you're just not interacting as much or in the same way. Because
Yeah.
to have a conversation, you have to want to hear what the other person's saying, so it can be a mutual exchange, and that's what this is representing.
I love it.
I stand finished for. I'm getting off the old platform now and rest a minute.
Tech support says collective effervescence.
Oh,
There you go.
man.
Two very nice words put together.
Kethra says, magic is what the world really is.
Oh, man. And if you take a gummy and put it on a stick and hold it over a fire, that's magic sometimes.
The zone is such a as an individual, whether you're an athlete, an artist, or a friend, or anything, like you everybody can relate to those moments where you're like, if you're playing basketball, you have this one game where you can't miss, and you're just like, and it's it's wild and amazing. You're just in within your grace, and you can't miss. But what's even more fun is when that happens with a team or a group of friends or a band, or just that night where you're all in it together, and you're
Right.
and none of you can miss, and
Great
you're just
analogy.
an extension of each other's grace, and you occupy that zone together is such a even another level of that magic synchronicity.
Now, does magical always mean a good experience?
Well, there's dark magic too, right? Voodoo.
Means what?
Is a magical experience always a good experience?
It's Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, I
No,
feel
not.
like
I
dancing.
mean, that's what they.
Should I cut loose?
I don't know. I think there is something that can go bad. It's not nice. Yeah, it's not all nice by definition.
It does seem like the dark version of magic is the idea that there's ways to manipulate the natural scientific laws of nature, and if someone could do that, they could do that for nefarious purposes. But you would never call something that was bad magic. Like,
It wouldn't be magical.
it wouldn't be magical. It'd be like, man, that party devolved into a terrible fight or whatever. It was like the opposite of collective effervescence or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I was just thinking like what are people that start fires? What are they called?
Arsonists.
Yeah, like setting a building on fire. They probably find that magical watching it burn.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really a nice thing to do. But I guess it's in your own opinion. Somebody might have been here Saturday and hated that music and been like, oh my God, hell on earth sitting out here.
They thought they were acting like it was magical.
That fake smile you have is magical right now.
What Hammurabidug is in here. Some accuse necromancy of being bad. What is necromancy?
Oh boy.
Ooh,
It's something with the
I've
dead,
heard the
isn't it?
word, but I can't recall.
Yeah, me neither.
I
I'll ask Percy.
It's the study of
All right,
birds, isn't it?
no, it's not. This will be good Halloween content, maybe.
I know. Necromancy. Well, just the word necro doesn't sound good.
I mean, you want to go? Is Percy?
Well, what do
Per-
you
I
think
don't
it
wanna say
is?
it.
He's already responded, but you want to give
Oh,
your
did he?
your idea?
Don't read it. Gosh, that's not magic when you read his to confirm your own opinion.
Oh, it's communicating with the dead.
Oh, well, that could be magical.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we're taking
Yeah, it's like seances
We've taken
and
a
stuff.
dark
Do you ever
turn
do the
now.
Ouija board?
no, but I know
Was that a
people
thing when you were a kid? So it's been around for a while.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever have a scary moment
Never
with
had
the Ouija board?
never had an experience with it.
Wow.
I
Did-
never was around it very much.
You never either?
I'm too scared. But didn't Houdini and his wife have like a message? They agreed on a message. He was gonna tell her if it was real or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like Conan, what's the guy that wrote Sherlock Holmes? Conan Doyle, what was it? Didn't he
Yeah.
wasn't he a big believed in all
Yeah,
that?
he got. That's one thing I think is just so fascinating because it really wasn't that long ago where people where the average person was much more willing to believe in the supernatural in a very interesting way. Like, there's something that's happened in the last 100 years where that's changed for better or worse. You can take it either way, but before then, like, even the most prominent minds were completely still magical thinkers. They still had their soul was still
But just think how much stuff they didn't
rooted
know
in the magic.
like that. I agree with you, but we've learned so much since then about everything, which is sort of unmagical that we know so much now.
Hmm.
That we, like you said, we've given up the belief in just magic.
Right. But the story he was talking about was, the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who invented Sherlock Holmes, one of the most astute, objective, observational thinkers, intellect or whatever in fictional characters. But he was completely taken for a lot of money trying to contact his wife or something, like the deceivers or charlatans took him for a lot of money, saying that they could facilitate him communicating with his passed away wife. It's very interesting. But the fact that the guy that invented Sherlock Holmes couldn't see through that
Right.
because
He also believed, I'm sure everybody's seen that picture of those girls, the little fairies dancing in the yard. He would like totally believe that was a real picture.
100% everybody did. And there's something that we lose and gain with that change. I read this very interesting book sort of about that, and I should read it again because I feel like it's such an interesting treatise on that, the where we are culturally, where one by one these things that had supernatural or mystical explanations for how they occurred were explained by science. And so one by one there was like this fight between science and supernatural thinking or magical thinking, that in the last 100 years science sort of won, and then we get to this point where we almost feel like we now understand how it all works, whereas for thousands of years we didn't, and not understanding how it worked or how the scientific explanation led to like so much beautiful stuff, like whether it was dancing for the rain or whatever it was, like there was just a relationship with the world through supernatural eyes that was, but then the name of the book is "But What If We're Wrong?" All that stuff we've done away with or whatever and replaced with this purely rational scientific explanation of how everything works. And the name of the book was, I believe, "But What If We're Wrong?" It's a very interesting read, gotta
So
say.
do you believe in magic like that?
Like what?
That- well, this sounds crazy. I might have already told you this before, but I believe this 100% because I experienced it every single time. When I was married, if I didn't feel good, I would just go lay on the bed, and my wife would put her hand on one of my butt cheeks, and I would say, just take whatever's bad in me. And it had to be in my head. I don't believe she had any powers. But she would just sit there, and I'd say, just think good thoughts for like a minute. And she would sit there as long as she could take it and say, okay. And within like 10 minutes, whatever was hurting was gone. And I swear by that. It happened every single time. But I think it was just the power of suggestion. But it's like, man, is that magic? If you believe something and it really works, is that magic?
Do you think I could put my hand on your butt cheek and cure you, or was it something your wife?
Well, she's the only person I ever asked to do it. I don't know, but because I think she believed she was making me feel better, and I believed it, and somehow it just worked.
Mm-hmm.
I think we ought to do some testing.
It's the weirdest thing. I think about it all the time. Sometimes I don't feel good. Like, oh my God, if she would just come put her hand on my rear.
I've had experiences with stuff like that. When I was younger, I truly believed I had the ability to heal myself and other people with like healing hands,
Right.
and like you say, power of suggestion is so hard to tell. I don't necessarily believe that now, like I did when I was younger.
How old were you then?
It's like 20 something.
Well, that's a good question. I mean,
But I can generate an amazing amount of heat when I rub my hands like this. And so I feel like that's part of like if I was a charlatan, that would be part of how it was the power of suggestion. It's completely plausible for me to believe that it was the power of suggestion, the fact that I can really generate a lot of heat with my hands, and then when you
Oh, that is warm.
and if your wrist was hurting right now, and I would do that, and I would breathe, and I would just take it and get rid of it. And it's worked on a lot of friends' ailments over the years back. But I
You did that to me on Jam Cruise one time.
I did.
Yep.
Did it help?
It did help.
Was it a headache or something?
Yeah, and you were like, you look tight or something, and you were just like, I don't know if you like took a deep breath in or something, but you like walked behind me, and then just like you were rubbing your hands the whole time, and doing the whole thing, and then you did that, and yeah, it definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing that a couple nights ago with a friend. She was telling me she didn't feel good, and I didn't even say what I was doing, but I had my hand on her, and she wasn't looking at me, and I just turned. She couldn't see me, and I just went like that, like, get rid of it, just go away.
Oh, and she wasn't even aware.
No.
Was there a shift?
She didn't say anything.
but that's probably the dumbest story I've
I didn't
heard
ask,
since we sat down.
because I didn't want to steal the magic by saying, "Do you feel any better?" Why would I feel better?
I felt fine in the first place. Look at the GIF in Discord.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
But me and my ex-wife, we didn't really talk about her having any power, and I don't even know how it happened. Maybe one time I wasn't feeling good, and she just put her hand on me, and I was like, "Oh man, I feel better already." But I don't think she had any power. I don't know what I don't know what I think. I think I would just. It was like popping an aspirin or something. You don't think it's really magical. You just be like, "Hey, let me pop an aspirin. Hey, come do this." But I do believe in that type of stuff. And I think if you believe it and Lex believes it, then it can work.
It's like Kether says in here, the mind is amazing. Like there's so many potential explanations for that. Some maybe defy the laws of science. Like Abe is talking about placebo and nocebo effect is very real.
Yeah.
The mind is so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, when you did it on Jam Cruise, I just found it very relieving in a number of ways.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't necessarily muscular, which is what was going on. It was definitely tight. But it was just like
to not be
it
thinking
was an
about
overall
that for
relief.
a second.
Well, and then just that that whole thing just happened,
Mm-hmm.
and like, wow, that was cool. No one's ever done that to me.
well,
before.
I think one thing we have to acknowledge is that the human touch is very powerful.
Oh yes.
Holding hands and things like that, and because
That's scientifically proven.
oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, we are a communal. We come from a communal group of people. We're social, and it's just the feeling that someone else is there.
Mm-hmm.
I get lonely sleeping alone all the time, but I'm used to it. But sometimes you just like to have someone touch you, and I think that's the whole thing of one of the things we lost during the thing we had with the pandemic. We're fist pumping.
6 feet apart.
Yeah, we were
Oh yeah, the fist bump is still part of the thing now.
And
Yeah, it is.
and I have to do it because I'm kind of, I need to stay away from people. But I'm just saying, as a culture, we're not as touching each other as we used to. And plus, if you touch the wrong things, you get arrested these days. So, so there's all that, yeah. But I think it's so important. So I think when, someone's doing, when you're doing somebody's hair or something, like people going to the barber shop, there's part of that is just feeling like somebody's grooming you, just
Right.
just being taken care of, or touching you, and just you can feel somebody else is out there, because we are what we sense. And if you never sense that there's another person there with anything but maybe your eyes, so you're watching television, that's just not enough.
Here. And there's an energy transference there too.
Well, that's when you're rubbing your hands. I thought, you're just sending more energy in.
Well, it's funny because, I mean, like you were saying about the sense of touch, just hanging out with Stephanie a lot, I'll just like if she's standing beside me, I'll just put my hand against her like that. Just stand there with my hand against her. And I went to that wintergreen thing, and she wasn't there, but I kept realizing I was reaching over to put my hand against the people. It was like people that were with me, but they weren't her. And I'd get up to them like, oh crap, and I'd pull my hand back. I can't just be touching people because I'm hanging out with them, They're gonna be like, what are you touching my leg for? But it is like a very comforting thing just to feel like you're in public, or you're with somebody. But I was up there drinking and carrying on. My hand would be like that far away from her leg. I'd be like, oh crap, I can't do that. But I guess it is like a natural, just like, once you get used to it, you just want to, and like I never, when I
want to
lived
start grab-assing left and right. That's an old
That's
term.
a fine line.
My
He's walking a
granddad said
fine
that.
line right now.
My granddad used to say that word, grab-assing.
Yeah.
That's an old word.
Oh, yeah.
Hey Ben, good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Let us grab your ass while you're here.
Slide on, sit right on up close to us.
Lay on down, we'll put our hands right on your butt for you.
Well, next week, let's do free cheeks.
Chaps all around.
Just wheel them around.
Send us a picture of your butt, and we'll put our hands
No,
on
no,
the
no,
phone.
no. I'm not going to do that.
But like growing up, we weren't. I mean, my family was not a hugging family at all. I can't remember the last time my parents hugged me when I was a kid, probably because I was so annoying. But when I moved to New Jersey, they just hug. You don't even know somebody. You're like, this is my friend Jim. You meet him at a bar, and they just hug you. And it got so addictive. Like when I moved back here, people were probably looking at me like, "What's going on with you?" I could see, "Hey, this is my friend, Nathan." I'd just like hug him. Some people were probably like, "What in the world are you doing?" But I think people do hug more, or I'm more aware of it.
Well,
now.
different cultures have different rules.
It's interesting how there's some cultures where men hold hands.
Right.
And it's funny how, like, averse to that kind of thing we are, the way we were raised,
Right.
and how that can be instilled in you,
Right.
whether it's healthy or not.
Right.
It's just,
There's a thing on YouTube, some old English actor, I don't even know who he is, but he's on some podcast, and they asked him what he loves about his hometown. And he says when he comes back, he gets off the train and he goes down to get a cab. And he said, when you get in the cab, it's usually a man driver. And he goes, "Where are you going, my love?" And he's like, man, to have another man, to have no fear or whatever. They just, "Where are you going, my love?" And you just tell them where you're going, and they take you. He said, "I always know I'm home when I hear, that term." I thought that was very sweet.
it was beautiful.
I love it.
So what do you got next in your bag of tricks, my love?
I don't think I had anything else, because I left a whole stack of stuff there.
You didn't bring a deck of cards with you to take all of our money?
No. Oh, here's a magnifying glass, but that was for me.
Speaking of Sherlock Holmes, you need that, don't you?
Yeah. And my eyesight's not as good as it was.
The butler did it in the library with the rolling pin.
His name was Gilligan.
Oh man, If you missed any part of this show, you're not getting all the inside jokes.
It wasn't that funny anyway.
You gotta start
But
Call it the weave.
It's the weave. Not every show's this magic, by the way. Just don't want to raise the bar too high.
ooh,
Synchronicity.
there has been some magic in the air tonight.
In the world in general lately, I'm very excited for the future. I've been sort of jokingly saying that I've been planning, because I just turned 54 on Saturday, and I've been joking that I've been aiming for this year for a long time now. This is my year. 54 is the one. Whatever that. I was just sort of joking about it. But then on the other hand, as I check myself and I look around, I'm feeling pretty good about things.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with the world. The world's a cesspool. But with my own heart and my own life, my own aspirations, my friends, my community, my home, all of it. I just feel like I'm proud of how I'm approaching life these days.
Well, I was add on to that. I was thinking about you and where you are in the world, and I was thinking how beautifully unique you are.
Go on.
Yeah, I really was.
Get this on tape.
We're all different. We all do it in different ways, but your creativity has taken you to a whole different level. And one of the things that I've been successful at, and so far you two have been pretty good too, is not being successful. Because if you're successful, people want your time. And what I find is that by being infamous but not famous, you get to enjoy your sweet time that you have. And that's what I love about where you are. You're expressing yourself in ways that'll last forever. So you have that idea of what's left after I'm gone. You've got a legacy there, and you've created that, and people can go back and find it. In other words, you might be famous 300 years from now.
Maybe.
Yeah. And you also, I would say the same thing to you if I wasn't talking to you. If I was talking to you. I'm back over here. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about, how I think you have an unrecognized gift, but the thing that's beautiful right now is just what you said, and that is you feel good about it. Mm-hmm. Because this is.
I could easily be bitter.
You could be bitter, exactly, instead of hiding it out. I just found out early that I don't really want to be known, because I'll get known for the wrong reasons, or I'll be made up in a certain way. I'd rather just be one of the sparrows more than a cardinal.
Where'd that thought come from?
I just made it up. I did. I wrote a poem one time called "Brown Became a Color of Necessity." And it's all about hiding in plain sight. Mm-hmm. And being a changer by working within the system. Mm-hmm. There's a gift to that.
Right.
And for you to not be in jail is pretty cool.
Amen.
It's funny that you
because they could have got us at certain points along the way, and we dodged a few bullets.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you mentioned about being a sparrow instead of a cardinal. A friend of mine, some post I put, said, "Remember, in the dark, we're all black." Like, we're basically, if we were sitting here in the dark and they didn't know what we were, we're all basically the same. It's just our spirit and our personality and stuff. I thought that was sort of cool.
Yep.
Y'all can't even respond to that. Have another song. He didn't mean black like African American. He meant like black, you know.
Like blind.
Just like wine, yeah. All right, Lex, show us your butt.
Put some music on, baby.
He can also show us his butt without pulling his pants
I
down.
mean, it's like magic.
That's right.
Abracadabra, I wanna reach out and grab you.
Man, that was hilarious when y'all were playing and somebody started something. Somebody said, "What is that?" And that guy said, "Hot for teacher." You remember that? Remember that?
Oh, no, Angel is the centerfold.
Oh yeah, Angel was a centerfold. I mean, the whole it just that collective memory that everybody. As soon as he said it, nobody even paused to think of what it was. That just everybody there knew what he was talking about.
Na 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 na.
And it was beautiful because once he said it, everybody was looking, and I looked at him, and he looked so happy that he had like just he cracked everybody up. He just had that look on his face, like, yes, I scored one. That was really, it was good. God, what song did I say? I had it all wrong.
Oh yeah, what? Hot for teacher.
Angel is centerfold.
Probably find that one night too. No song is safe.
We've been watching scary movies because it's that time of the year. So I guess it's pretty classic tradition, but especially in this house when October rolls around, the Halloween season, when it comes time to watch something at night, we're like, all right, well, I guess we'll watch something scary.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a fan of the older stuff or the newer stuff? I find the 70s like terrifying, some of that weird stuff that they were doing back then.
So when you say scary, are you talking about a movie like a horror, like a monster thing where you kind of can always in the back of your mind say, okay, this isn't really happening. Or is it one of those human scary evil things that could be going on, that, like real pure evil of man?
Right.
Yeah, that's a different type of horror.
Mm-hmm.
Are you into either one?
Supernatural or just the very human evil? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I
Do you like both of those?
if it's well done. For the most part, I'm not a huge fan, but I'm always curious. I'm always intrigued. There is, I mean, I'm a small fan, I guess, because every now and again you get one that, I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, I was a latchkey kid, and Mom would have to work nights with stuff with the Parks and Rec and stuff. And like when I was like 9, 10 years old, I'd just be alone in the house at night. And some of those nights, I was just like, I'm going to do it. And I would just watch a scary movie and freak myself out. I mean, next thing you know, there's someone in the closet. The limb outside. I mean, I would just completely change the world into this terrifying thing. And I would like have a cane, and I mean, there would be someone outside. And I've done this to myself. Like, why?
Yeah, do you think that has an adrenaline rush type thing going on?
100%. 100%. It's like riding a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? Because when you
Right.
get off and you survived it, there's this high to it.
Yeah, that's exactly why I just don't like things like that, because I don't like that adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
That adrenaline causes me to do things.
Right. It's just anxiety.
Yeah, well, anxiety, but it sets off those triggers, whereas other people feel like it titillates them, it gets them excited, it gets them going, and they enjoy that's what I don't have that.
Right.
I just say that I don't want to see that. That makes me sick.
I mean, I can relate to both because
Yeah.
there's a lot of adrenaline junkie stuff that I will never do. But if I did do it, like if I jumped out of a plane and parachute, I'm just not that. But if I did do it, I would be ecstatic. Like once I survived, I just can't. I just hate the thing that creates that adrenaline is the fear, and that fear is just overwhelming. It can be too much. But then to survive it, I would be walking on air for hours, I'm sure, if not
I'm
days.
the same way.
So I can enjoy the benefits of it, but I'm not necessarily the kind of person that goes looking for it, or
Right.
that has that needs it on that level or whatever. So someone would have to push me out of that plane.
You know, it's like I have never liked any type of that violence, and I don't know why I feel I'm almost the opposite. Whereas that whole idea of watching something to get scared doesn't make any sense to me at all. But I was thinking about how the perception would be that I'm afraid, but it's not that. It's just that I think the world's a rough place, and I don't want to waste my energy. It's like an adrenaline, like I have a certain amount of adrenaline, and I don't want to let it go. And maybe it's because I can't control it. Because once I get an adrenaline going, you don't really want to be around that. And I know that about me too. So I'm afraid of that. I just don't like anything about that, which doesn't bode well for the horror movie industry in my neighborhood. But, it's just but any experience like it, I don't want to go through it till I have to go through it. But that doesn't mean I can't go through it, because I've had my share and I know I can handle it. But I don't want to do it frivolously.
Right.
It's almost like a waste of energy, of psychic energy. But it's harmless. I mean, obviously.
Right. There, I mean, I can't remember if you ever did this, but I definitely have vague childhood memories of like the classic an adult telling a terrifying story around the campfires, and you hold the flashlight up under your face and it makes you look all scary, and you're like, you're all in the woods. It's like, yep, in these very woods 20 years ago to the day. And and
about
a
that-
half an hour later, you got like all these kids just terrified, afraid they can't go to sleep. It's like, why would anybody do that? But on the other hand, like having such, I feel like every horror movie I watch is trying to return to that terrified innocence or whatever that's being. But it is a weird exercise.
Well, magic is sort of this. I mean, magic doesn't terrify you, but it just keeps you like, you're paying really strict. You're like paying attention. You're like, how are they doing that? You're like, when it's done, you're like, what in the world? It's almost like it's a different feeling, but it's, it's still like, what in the world? How'd that happen? Yeah,
I didn't have the words for it, but part of me was thinking that this ties really well into the whole conversation, because there is, as you're that kid terrified, there's some kind of supernatural experience that you're having.
energy,
The
yeah.
idea that this fictional horror could revisit you on that night,
Right.
even though it's a dark force outside of your typical laws of nature or whatever, there's that fear that you're feeling is this fear of something beyond. It's a beyond. There's something, even if it's an axe wielding
Right.
maniac or something, like the idea that they would still be out there.
Right.
They're magic in some way. Like this fear you're feeling is that I don't know, chupacabras coming down.
Well, it is a collective experience. I've been like, had friends like, let's 10, 15 of us go to a haunted house or something. You go one of these tours or whatever. There's always one guy, I don't believe in this, and I just walk around like, then why are you here with us? The whole thing. None of us believe this thing is haunted, but just get into the spirit of it. There's always like one guy, I don't even know why we're doing this. I don't believe it. I know it's fake. Well, just wait in the car then, so we can pick you up later.
You're killing the vibe here, the buzz.
Exactly.
It is true. Have you ever taken the haunted Stanton tour?
No.
You've done that?
I haven't done it. When I used to walk all the time, I would see them doing it. You know, I mean, the speakers they have are really good. No, I would go where they couldn't see me and listen a little bit. And when I'm hot,
But
yeah.
there's that, and I do think that like even, and most horror movies sadly don't return me to that state or whatever. But I think it is like always trying to get back to that terrified innocence or whatever, because like, you know, if there's a creepy house in your neighborhood when you're a kid, and adults have warned you, don't go near there, like just stay away from that weird, dilapidated, it's always dark, it's not as well lit as all the other houses, and you never see the person that lives there, but you hear things. And what do you do as a kid? You get close. You freak yourself. You freak yourself out.
Dare your friend to walk
You
up
dare
and
your
touch
friend
the
to
gate.
walk up and touch the gate, and then you're trembling and you're terrified, and you touch the gate, and run, and your heart's beating out of your chest, and it's just like, it's that. It's just always looking to feel that again. But it is. I completely understand. Like, why would you want to feel that?
But it's also the unknown. Like, your parents never say, you know, the whole family was murdered there, so don't go there. It was always, don't go there. Why? Just don't go there. Just listen to me for once. Listen to me. Just tell me what it is. No, just don't go there. Oh, I've got to go there now.
And you're going to go there when the moon is full. Yeah. It's not going to be 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. It's going to be middle of the night. The moon is full. There's crows calling. What do you call a crow? Call? C-A-W?
C-A-W.
Is that you?
That's me. Just tell me the ghosts are here. I have a ghost monitor on me. I've got a bullshit detector on.
John Dodson says they should make a psychological thriller about WebMD. Nothing has caused me as much unwanted trauma as that. Like Googling symptoms of a health condition.
Hilarious. Somebody just sit there. I've got it.
I've definitely got this.
I'll be dead by tomorrow. That's hilarious.
Yeah, you never want to Google a symptom. I'll tell you what. Banjo Baby says, American Werewolf in London is the only film that gave me nightmares as a child. My uncle was the editor for Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, wow.
And before I knew it was a comedy, he let me watch some of the film while working on it. It was black and white without any sound. I was about 5 and it scared the heck out of me.
Oh, man.
For me, my classic childhood was Salem's Lot. And the scene where his friend appears floating in his window, his bedroom window. His friend had died, and he's in his room, and next thing you know, his friend is floating outside of his bedroom window and like scratching on the window pane.
Oh,
just
man.
got me. And I'm just always looking for that. Just looking for that feeling again. Why it is weird.
Mine was Amityville Horror.
Amityville Horror.
And
yeah.
it was a perfect moment where I was being babysat away from my house. So I went to my babysitter's house this particular night. She was watching the movie. I snuck out of where I was supposed to be laying down and peeked from behind the couch, and was watching what she was watching. And it happened to be the scene where the little girl's like singing Jesus Loves Me to like a rocking chair that's empty and it's rocking.
Oh man.
And I was like, nope. And then like these red eyes go across the window. Like the mom comes in, who are you singing to, honey? And then she looks out the window and like these red eyes go by. And it stuck with me my whole childhood.
Indelible.
I was so scared by
burned
that movie.
in.
Yeah. That's it. it's still like one of the scariest movies for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've gone and watched the whole thing, and I'm like, yep, that's a good scary one.
Oh, God. Mm. Oh. Mine wasn't even a horror movie. It was I think I've talked about it, that movie Bad Ronald. This this boy lives with his mom in a house, and he by accident kills a girl. They're walking home from school, and he throws a rock at her, hits her in the head, and kills her. So he comes back home and tells his mom. So she puts him behind the walls of the house, like so he's living like behind everything. And the police come looking for him, and she's like, he's gone, And then she has like a heart attack or something and dies. So he's still living back there, and they sell the house, and another family moves in, and he's living behind the walls. Man, that movie scared the crap out of me. That was horrible.
Wow.
He'd come out at night and
never
like
seen
eat their
this one.
food and stuff, and
Mental note.
oh
Bad Ronald.
yeah.
All right.
But it wasn't even a horror movie. It was just more like I don't know what it was called, child torture, I guess. 'Cause I was so scared of it.
So this is The Exorcist traumatized me as a
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
It's a classic. When I was in college, my drama teacher was one of his claims to fame was he was in The Exorcist 3.
Wow. Did they just remake The Exorcist like this year or last year or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was some new one that came out.
I never heard anybody talk about it. Didn't they used to have tours? Wasn't that in Georgetown or somewhere in D.C.? You go like tour where they film. Cause it's based
There's
on
a
true
famous
story. Yeah.
staircase
Yeah.
there, I think, where they ended up jumping out
Yeah.
falling out the window or something. And yeah, if you're running around D.C., you can. I definitely have made that pilgrimage,
Yeah.
partying in D.C. in college. Like,
Oh,
we gotta
yeah.
go find this Exorcist staircase.
Now, has anybody seen Rosemary's Baby? That scared me too. Oh
Mm.
my god.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
The Shining
Oh.
is a creepy good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not much of a monster type scary. That doesn't scare me too much. Like you said, it's not real, but the pure evil of people is very real.
So none of the supernatural stuff scared you?
Well, I like watching it, but like I didn't go to bed. Well, maybe I did when I was a kid. I'm trying to think of anything that really scared me like that. My parents probably wouldn't even let us watch it when we were young. They were very protective. Like we couldn't go see Jaws. Like, Mom, everybody's seen Jaws. Well, we go to the beach every year, so you're not gonna go see Jaws. 'Cause you'll never. Why are we gonna go to the beach and you're just gonna
Jaws
sit in the
was
sand?
a good. Now Jaws was a scary movie.
Oh yeah.
And did you like that? That might be like.
Oh, it scared me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
But
after
I
that.
was never going into that ocean again.
Right.
anyway.
I feel like.
Very real.
I feel like
Yeah.
that collectively happened. I feel like the
I think it
beaches
did.
must have been weird for a little while after that. Like,
No, I'm not sure it's a little while. They still show
Right,
it
still-
on TV.
right.
If you're impressionable, it's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But
Just like that music you was
But the
playing
thing is,
earlier.
but my mom was she realized we would never get in the water again. And she'd be like, we go to the beach every single year for vacation. Why are we going to let you watch something? Then you're just going to sit in the sand and never go back in there again. Just
That was very
believe in the
wise.
magic of the ocean and get out there to swim around.
That's probably a good
I
thought.
know, we were so mad at her.
Cather says the ghost story of The Exorcist supposedly happened where I went to grad school.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. That always makes scary stuff even better. It's like when the horror movie starts with this is based on actual events. It's like, oh god. And then you got a friend that's like, yeah, well, that happened where I went to school. It's completely based on that.
You've never seen anything at that old house up this hill from you, have you? That's supposed to be haunted?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, your street has one of the most famous haunted houses in Stanton.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What have you heard about that house, Steve?
I haven't heard anything. I never have pursued that. I should.
Mm-hmm.
That's the open chain.
It's like a reoccurring blood stain that they
Yeah.
can't wipe out or
Yeah.
something. Like it just keeps.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything from my end of the world. But
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't it a Union soldier was wounded and went? It was a
It was used as a
hospital,
hospital
Yeah.
during the Civil War.
Mm.
and they wouldn't help him or something.
But there's a lot of stories there.
Yeah, Stanton actually has a tour this time of year that you can take of all the famous haunted houses and stories that have happened over the years. We should do it.
We should.
That'd be a good little Halloween episode of Jabber Jawn.
I've done them in other cities. I've done the ghost tours in other cities before, and they're always like really cool historical things that you get too. You get all kinds of nuggets, not just creepy stuff.
But this is the same concept of my mom not letting me go see Jaws. What if I go see it and then I'm scared to walk downtown to see
Then
a
you're like,
band
yeah, you're
anymore?
like,
My band's playing like, well, I can't go down there. Why? It's downtown Stanton. You know how
Kyle's
scared I
always
am?
here. What happened to Kyle? What?
He never leaves the house anymore.
Do you have any idea what happened in 1790? Right there on that corner.
I'll do some research into it.
They
see
tried
what
to
I can
hang a
find
man
out.
and he climbed up the scaffold and escaped.
Soul's in.
Oh,
He said,
right.
let's go. Yeah, this could be fun.
There's another. What's the other tour they have? All the bats that are like there's something. All the bats that are on the buildings, like not real bats, or is it cats? Something that are
Gargoyles?
something like that that are on certain buildings that nobody notices, or maybe it's I think it's dragons. Maybe they take you a tour and show you these little dragons all over town.
In Stanton?
Mm-hmm.
We have some fun old architecture like that with gargoyles and things.
We got some hustlers in town trying to make an honest buck.
That too.
Man, do you know any scary songs to end the show?
I was just scanning my catalog for that. The Amusement used to do a Dan Hicks song called I Scare Myself, which would be a perfect end to this show, but I don't. Amy sang that one. I'm not sure how it goes. Trying to think.
You know the Monster Mash?
Oh, they did the mash. It was the monster mash.
It's a beautiful message in that song of all the different monsters getting together and not fighting for the night and just dancing.
It's so sweet.
We need more of that.
Yeah, we do need more of that.
That's exactly right.
You don't know Bela Lugosi's dead, do you? We'll have all the goth
that a
kids.
song? I don't
We'll have all
know
the
that
goth
song.
kids turning in Bela Lugosi's dead.
What about what's the Ramones song that I'm thinking?
Oh,
The
one,
Ramones?
The one from the
Well, they did Pet
Stephen King,
Sematary,
yeah,
but
Pet
I think it was-
Cemetery.
They have another. No, this might be Pet Cemetery that I'm thinking of.
You know the Dead Kennedys Halloween?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's Halloween. And I feel like dancing. Feel like cutting loose. Ah!
Cute.
Well, you should read a ghost story on Halloween.
Yeah, scare us.
Oh, you should, like, not too long, like, don't bore us to death, but find like a short, scary story to read us.
Yeah, hold the flashlight up under your face like that.
So when do you want me to do that?
For our Halloween episode.
Okay.
Now, you're saying you can't play music because that's what the YouTube done like that or whatever.
Like other people's music.
Yeah, but you can read. Can you read other people's work?
Mm-hmm.
And what if you played like a little music behind it?
I could just.
If you played it backwards.
As long as you didn't play Angel in the Centerfold.
Right.
Do you have a favorite scare? Oh, we don't like that type of stuff. God, me and Nathan are trying to torture
Have you ever read any scary books?
We know you don't like it, but read it out
Yeah, I'll
loud.
read about until it gets scary. No. Yeah, I read scary books.
Is
But
that,
you know
is
what?
that
You
different?
know
Is
what
that's
scares
different,
what
right?
scares you. You know what scares you and what scares me is two different things.
Right. But ever any
Everybody.
classic like horror fiction or scary ghost stories or vampire stories or anything like that? Classic.
I'm sure I did read some earlier, but I they didn't stick out in my mind, or they didn't change me or anything.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever read the
they just-
Magus?
I think I did, but I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, those. What I would learn from those books is I didn't want to read any more of those books, and that's about as far as I got down that path. So.
What I learned from this meal is I never want to eat your cooking again. Thanks for teaching me.
Well, that's how you. That's the only way to really learn.
Right.
Oh man, I was eating some. I was over here this week. We were talking about my first time eating cottage cheese, and everybody started hollering out their favorite additions, and they said Cather eats hers with mayonnaise, and I was eating some a couple days ago. And we were like, "Oh man, should we even try that?" We're like, "No, that's too nasty." Have you ever had it?
What?
Cottage cheese with mayonnaise in it?
Not really. She loves that though.
But you didn't try it.
No. Well, that's what Catherine. That's how she eats her cottage cheese.
Well, I know that's.
But we were, when I was at home eating it, we were talking. I was like, "Man, should I try that?" Like, yeah. I was like, "Oh,
I think you should.
How did you try it?
I didn't have. I put up pepperoni and cheese because I didn't have any fruit. I had nothing to put in it. The first one I ate just plain. I was like, "This didn't really do it." So I looked for something, and then I put some
Jelly's really good in there.
Oh man.
Apple butter,
Oh man.
fruit,
That would be good.
pears,
See, yeah.
canned
I
pears.
was unprepared.
Canned pears and cottage cheese is pretty good.
Well, I hear
You could even throw cottage cheese
pineapple.
into a marinara sauce. Like it acts like sort of ricotta cheese in a lasagna.
Well,
but you
right.
could do cottage cheese in a pasta.
Now the reason I even had it, because I saw a video on YouTube where you can make like a pancake out of it. You like just fry it up in a pan, and it becomes like a solid thing that you can put stuff on and eat. Low carb thing.
Did you try that?
I didn't try it. I should have.
Because you ate it right out of the can.
Right out of the pop that thing open, and
Yeah, you went on in.
it sort of scared me when it said big letters across the top, "Stir before eating." I was like, "What is all the poison on the top? You got to get it all." What do you eat it? I don't remember if you had a suggestion or not.
It's not really my gig.
You just put a couple of Oreos down in there and let them soak, then eat it.
Yeah, you throw some Oreos in a cup and then dump a bunch of cottage
Cottage
cheese
cheese
on top. A couple strawberries and you're good.
And you've ruined some Oreos. Dad, why'd you do that? I was gonna eat those Oreos.
We did it again. It was a fun show.
Hope it
I'm a
didn't
little
scare
scared.
you.
I'm a little scared.
I'm a little scared.
Hey, I hope you're okay.
I'll be all right.
I know that was-
Once I get home and get in my chair, but it's going to be dark out
Might
there.
follow you home.
Yeah, well, something will. Something will.
And if you're scared, just reach out and put the back of your hand against somebody. It'll make you feel better.
That's exactly right.
Just hold someone's butt tonight.
Tell them to make the evil spirits go away.
That's about what I do every night to go to bed. I think about which butts I'd like to be holding on to.
Tune in next week for the name.
If you send me $15, your name will not be mentioned.
If they were only feeling down, I could make a funny sound. I could dance a silly dance. Oh, I've dared. I can pratfall, rebound just to entertain a crowd. But there's nothing I can do when they are scared. If they only had a frown, I could turn it right around. If they were only down and out, oh, I know how. What am I gonna do now? It's a bad time, bad time, bad time, bad time to be a clown. The flower in my lapel has a dried up empty well. Used to hold the water that I'd squirt. And now I give the ball a squeeze, it just puffs a tiny breeze. No one's whistling while they work. If they only had a smile, I could play with that a while. If they only wanted style, oh, I know how. What am I gonna do now? It's a bad time,
Bad time,
bad time
bad time
to be a clown.
to be a clown.
Oh no, nobody knows unless they got a big red nose just how much it blows to read this news. All my fair weather friends, I wouldn't recommend taking a single step inside these shoes. You'd just be tripping on your feet, falling down the street. They only fit me anyhow. What am I gonna do now? It's a bad time,
Bad time,
a bad time
bad time
to be a clown.
to be a clown.
One more. It's a bad time,
Bad time,
it's a bad time
bad time
to be a clown.
to be a clown.
Be a clown.
Thank you so much. We'll
That's
see you
a-
next
That's an
time.
example of magical.
Cheers.
That was a
Another
perfect
magical
song.
night.
Wow. Ah, you got good memory for all these things.
That was fun. A little scared. Maybe we don't need to watch a horror movie tonight.
That's
Got
a
my
good,
fix.
that is a good Halloween song.
Right. Oh yeah. Nothing scarier than clowns.
I know.
Why are clowns so scary? Why are children's songs so scary in horror movies? Like, there's nothing creepier than a